So this is your teacher Haris Bhatt, and you are seeing my YouTube channel Learn Accounting with Sir Haris. Today we are going to solve a question from AS Accounting, means A levels accounting, but the chapter we are doing is from AS Accounting, that is for the chapter of errors, errors and suspense. And this question has come in the exam on October-November 2022. Right? So this has come in October-November 2022. So we are going to solve this question. So let's see that how this question is going to be done. So Ismail opened a retail business on 1st January with the following assets and liabilities. Bank is given 7,500 debit, non-current assets 18,500. Bank loan, which is a non-current liability, is 4,200. Ismail prepared a draft income statement for the year ended 31st December. However, this contained errors. The draft income statement is given and it has certain errors in it. Revenue is given 274500. Cost of sales, add discount received. This is wrong because discount received comes after gross profit, not before gross profit. Bank loan never comes in the income statement. It is a non-current liability. Less expenses. Carriage inward. Carriage inward is always added in purchases. Carriage outward is an indirect expense that will come under the heading of expenses. Drawings is subtracted from capital. It will not come in expenses. General expenses, insurance, rent, that is right. Loan interest, 210. There is another problem. If you just see the bank loan, that is 4,200. And the loan interest is basically, if you just see the question, the loan interest given, the percentage of loan interest, where it is, yes, 10% per annum. So the loan interest percentage is 10% per annum. So 4,200 into 10% is 420. But instead, we have written 210, which is wrong. So we have to write 420 over here. Ismail has taken goods for his own use. These goods cost 420 and had a selling price of 630. So that is the entry for goods drawing, which we haven't yet accounted for. Drawings debit and purchases credit. But that entry will be passed with the cost of the goods, not with the selling price, with 420. Carriage inward included capital expenditure of 400 on non-current asset, which had been paid on 18 January 2019. So this carriage inward of 1020 includes an amount of 400, which is capital expenditure, means which is a non-current asset. Carriage inward 1040, 1020 includes an amount of 420. It means that carriage inward is 620. 400 should be added in non-current assets, and that non-current assets, for after adding 400, we will calculate depreciation on non-current asset, which is not yet charged at the rate of 20% per annum. A full year depreciation is charged in the year of purchase. The amount shown for insurance included 720 for the 6 months period ending 30th April. If you just see the question that our financial year is going to end on 31st December 2019, where this insurance of 720 for 6 months period that is ending 30th April. So it means that January, February, March, April, 4 months insurance is basically prepaid, which is included in the amount of 720, which has paid for 6 months. It means that 720 of insurance has been paid, Adi, for November, 6 months, November, December, January, February, March, April, right? So it means that 720, November, December is fine, but for January, February, March, April, that is 4/6. That is supposed to be prepaid, because that has been paid for the next period, for the next year. So 720 into 4 divided by 6, it will come 480. This 480 we need to subtract from the insurance. So we will subtract insurance with the amount of 480. means that we will subtract 480 from the insurance expense because the 4-month insurance is basically prepaid. So that should not be a part of the insurance because that insurance relates to the next year, 4 months of the next year. At 31st December, trade receivable total 14,800. A customer who owed 600 had been declared bankrupt, so they are irrecoverable debts, which should be shown under the heading of expenses. And then we need to create a provision of 5% on the remaining trade receivable. So 14,800 minus 600, 14,200 into 5%. That will be the provision which we need to increase, and it should be written in the income statement as provision for doubtful debts. So we need to revise the income statement again because we have to prepare the corrected income statement, or you can say the corrected statement of profit and loss, which is the new name now. So corrected statement of profit and loss I am going to prepare. I will start from the dollar, and over here I will start from the dollar. You know that it starts from the revenue or this amount of sales. Then we subtract sales return. Let's see. Revenue is given 274,500, but I didn't find any sales return to be subtracted from revenue. So I will write revenue, which is already given in the question, and there is no problem in the amount of revenue. So I will write revenue directly 274,500. Okay. Now the cost of sales is 182,360. So I will subtract less cost of sales. Opening inventory is not given, purchases is not given, closing inventory is not given. So I have to adjust all the things which needs to be adjusted in the amount of cost of sales. So let's see if anything needs to be adjusted. Yes, carriage inward. Carriage inward is added, should be added in purchases, but purchases are not given. So it means that I have to add carriage inward in the cost of sales. Secondly, there is a goods drawing. So goods drawing, the entry is drawings to purchases. So goods drawing needs to be subtracted from purchases, but purchases is not given. So I will subtract it from cost of sales with an amount of 420. Secondly, we will not add carriage inward of 1020. We will add carriage inward of 620. Why? Because 1020 include the purchase of a non-current asset of 400. So that should be added in non-current asset. It is not the expense of carriage inward. So it will not be taken into account while adding carriage inward. So let's do that. What is the amount of 182,360 is the amount of cost of sales. So I can do the calculation right here. 182, just a minute. 182,360. So I will write here 182,360 plus 620, which is the carriage inward after subtracting 400, and then minus goods drawing, which is 420. Where is the goods drawing? Which is subtracted, needs to be subtracted from purchases, 420. So can you tell me the correct amount of the cost of sales now? 182,360 plus 620 minus 420. That is going to be 182,560. So now I will subtract sales, cost of sales from sales to get the amount of gross profit. You need to write the full abbreviation, full version of the gross profit because labeling is important and you need to write the full version. But because I just want to not to waste my time, so I'm going to write the small version. So 91940 is the amount of gross profit. Sales less cost of sales, 91940. Now I will add discount received because discount received will be added after gross profit, and discount received is given in the question. Add discount received 820. So that is going to be added after gross profit 820 in the amount of gross profit 91940. So let's add that. plus 820. The amount is 92760. So here I will write 92760. Now I have to subtract expenses. So I will less expenses from this. If there is other income, I will definitely add other income, but it is not given in the question, so I will subtract expenses directly. And let's see which expense I will write. Carriage inward already done. General expenses, that is 22,280. So let me write here general expenses 22,280. Let's see, the next expense is insurance 17330. You know that 720 of the insurance, which is included in the insurance account, out of that 4 over 6, 4 months out of 6 months is the prepaid insurance, which is 480. So insurance, I will write 1730 minus 480. That will be the amount will be written over here. 1730 minus 480. So what is the amount will become? That is 1250. So I will write here 1250. Next amount is going to be rent, which is 20250. I will write here rent, and the amount is for the expense 20250. Let's see any other expense which is written. Carriage inward, we have already done with that. Insurance, we have done with that. Now comes the depreciation. So depreciation on non-current asset is to be provided. Point number 3, 20% per annum on cost. So if you just look at the question, the non-current assets are given on 1st January 18,500. And the depreciation you need to calculate is 20%, but you have to add this 400 in the amount of depreciation in the cost of non-current asset, because this includes in carriage inward, which is a part of non-current asset. So the depreciation on non-current asset is 18,500 plus 400, which becomes obviously 18,900 multiplied by 20%. I will get the amount of depreciation. That is 3780. So I will write here 3780. Then comes the expense of irrecoverable debts. Normally it was called bad debts, but now the name has been changed. Usually it is called now irrecoverable debts. Then comes increase in provision or increase in allowance for irrecoverable debts. So irrecoverable debts are given in the question, that is 600. So I will write 600 here as expenses. Then increase in provision I will calculate. How come, sir? 14,800 is the amount of trade receivable. 600 has already become bad debts. So I will subtract 600, and the remaining amount, whatever 14,200 into 5% is going to be my provision for doubtful debts. There is no provision given at the start. So I have to increase the provision with the full amount. Increase in provision, that is 710. I will write 710 because there is no provision available in that already there. So 14,800 minus 600 into 5%, 710. Now comes the interest on bank loan. It is also an expense. Interest on bank loan. Bank loan is 4,200 and the interest rate is basically 10%. If we just look at the income statement, the interest written in the income statement, that is 10% per annum, and the bank loan is 4,200 here. 10% of this is 420, but loan interest recorded in the income statement is 210. That is wrong. Half of the interest is recorded. Maybe you have paid 210 only, but you know that expense is recorded in the period to which it relates. So whatever is the expense, you will record the whole expense. 4,200 into 10%, 420 will come, not 210, either it is paid or not. You will record the full expense. Okay, now I will go for the total of the expenses and I will find the profit for the year, which is the correct profit for the year. So you can calculate the expenses for me. If anybody can help me out, go for the total expenses and tell me what is the amount of total expenses. so that I can write the profit for the year for this particular question. Anyone who can calculate total of this, total of the expenses, I mean to say. So that will come 49290. 49290 is the total of the expenses. And gross profit is 92760 minus 49290. So the profit for the year is 43470. So this is how I have corrected the income statement. I have prepared the corrected income statement and found the profit for the correct profit for the year. So income statement I have prepared. Now he's saying that calculate the balance on ISMA's capital account at 31st December 2009. So you need to calculate the capital closing balance of the capital. But for that, you should have opening balance of capital, any capital at the start. That is quite simple. Assets minus liabilities, opening assets minus opening liabilities. So opening assets are bank 7,500 plus non-current asset 18,500 minus bank loan 4,200. You will get the amount of capital, opening capital. 400 will not be added while calculating opening capital because that particular amount has been recorded wrongly on 18th January. So we are basically finding the amount of capital on 1st January. So that's why for depreciation, we can add it up because we have to charge depreciation for the whole year. That was the reason. So the answer is going to be 21800. So the capital at the start is 21800. Now you can calculate the capital at the end easily. How? Opening capital is 21800. Profit we will add into this. That is 43470. And we will subtract the drawings. And there are two types of drawings. Both will come. There is drawings of cash drawings of this 18740, which is wrongly written under the heading of expenses 18740. And there are goods drawing also of 420. So 18740 plus 420, that will be the amount of drawings. 18740 plus 420, we will get the amount of drawings, which will be subtracted from capital at profit less drawings. 19160. So I will subtract here in bracket 19160. And now you can calculate the capital at the end or whatever the capital you require. The closing capital of the business 21,800 plus 43470 minus 19160. So 46110 is the capital at the end. I will write here 46110. So this is how I have calculated the capital also, which is required in the question. Balance sheet was not required in this question. Only the corrected income statement was required. So we are done with that. If you have any problem, you can ask me. Otherwise, it's quite easy, not that difficult. So we have been able to solve this question easily. Now I request you, but the next point we can discuss. Ismail would like to expand his business. He will need additional finance of 25,000 and he is considering two options to raise this amount. Option 1, apply for a bank loan. Option 2, form a partnership with A.C.M.A, a friend. A.C.M.A would expect profit and loss to be shared equally. So advise Ismail which of these options he should choose. Justify your answer. So when there is going to be advice, then you have to take one of the option. So if you go for a bank loan, then definitely you have to pay interest on that bank loan, which will increase your expense and decrease profit. Already we have taken a bank loan of 4,200 and we are already paying loan interest of 420 currently. Secondly, for bank loan, we have to, give some kind of security to the bank, or we have to pledge some kind of collateral to the bank. Then our financial statements secrecy will not be maintained because we have to show our financial statements. Either we are capable to pay back the bank loan these are the things, then definitely bank will require some kind of legal formalities so that we can get the bank loan. And always remember that bank loan has to be repaid after some time, 5 year, 4 year in the future. So our non-current liability will also increase because of that. If we talk about option two, form a partnership with A.C.M.A friend, because A.C.M.A is friend, so definitely the relationship with A.C.M.A is very good. And when he is coming, then definitely he will come with some expertise, more skills, right? But unfortunately, the profit will be has to be shared. But profit, if going to if it the profit is going to be shared, obviously workload will also be shared. If there is going to be losses, that also will be shared. So losses will be shared also. Then that more capital will come in the business. Decision making somehow or the other will get little difficult because we have to take his opinion also into taken has to be taken into account, right? So as far as I am concerned, I will go with the partnership because A.C.M.A will bring the 25,000 of bank loan, which is a big amount actually. If we go for a bank loan, we have to pay a big amount of interest for that. Rather, if it is 10%, then 2,500 interest, which will definitely hamper our profit. So partnership will be a good deal, I believe, because he will come with not she will come not only with the capital, but with maybe she has some better skills, more expertise, more knowledge. So these kind of things will also help the business, and workload will also decrease, and losses will also will be shared in the future if something will happen that way. So we will take option two to answer this particular question, right? So this is how we are done with that. So that's fine. Ismail sees benefits in keeping a full set of accounting records. State four benefits of business of keeping a full set of accounting records. Number one, you can extract a trial balance. You can find profit for the year. You can prepare statement of financial positions. Income statement and balance sheet can be prepared. Then your accounts will become more reliable. Will become more understandable. You can compare your results with other businesses and with your own business also. The confidence level of the customers will obviously increase. The investors have more confidence in the business. They can invest more in the business because we are keeping a full set of accounting records. It will bring harmony in the accounts. If we want to compare our business, it will bring harmony in the accounts because other people have also kept, if other people have also kept full set of accounting records. So this is how we are done with this question. So thank you very much for your effort. If you have any question, you can ask me or you can WhatsApp me also. Hadi, any problem? Okay then.